Hello everybody, today we're going to be checking out the Lord of Hongyuan Honglu, because like last time, it won the vote, and it's also an identity that I have and actually kind of like. So we're going to have some fun with this one as well. Yeah! Now, before we get into this, please know this character's ID is really confusing. It can be really complex, so this may be a longer video, so sorry about that. So before we get into this, I would like to talk about each of this Honglu's different unique buffs, so that way it's easier for you guys to understand later. So for the first one, we have Leash Holsher of all Haisho, which what it does is for every single Haisho member that you have equipped to your party, or Gia family unit, doesn't matter if they're backup or not, he will gain a stack of Leash Holder, and for every stack, he will gain extra speed. For every 2 stacks, he will still gain extra speed and more defense. And every 3 stacks, he'll gain offense level up. And starting at 5+ stacks, he'll gain extra damage up in offense to all of the Haisho members. So for his next buff, we'll be talking about 2 of them at the same time because they go hand in hand. The first buff activates when he activates his skill 3. And what it does is it'll give a unit that's a Haisho pack member that has the lowest amount of this stack, and will give it a stack, increasing its offense and defense level up. And when they gain the stack, they will also use Exalted Command, which means that they will immediately use an unopposed skill 3, not an empowered one, and it will only work if they have it unlocked. And then after he does the skill 3, it will do the special skill 3-2, doing a unique effect, which will be explained later. So the next buff he has is Life from Death, and what it does is when he gains a stack, he'll gain 1 offense level up. Every 2 stack, he'll gain 1 damage up, and every 3 stack, he will gain 1 attack power up. His next buff is Haisho Bolus Contamination, and what it does is every time he gets a stack with it, he'll gain a unique effect depending on who gave him the stack in particular, which will be listed on right here, showing which ones give off which. And also, as part of a passive, for every stack he has, he'll do an extra damage, extra 5% damage. So his final buff he has unique to himself is called Your Will Guides My Blades. And what it does is it's kind of like Captain Ishmael's assist attack, where after this unit's done attacking, whichever ally was given the buff, they will do an unopposed skill 1 attack and will also not affect their upcoming skills list. So this Honglu skill 1 is just a nice one. It will apply defense power up to 1 plus the highest resistance divided by 3 other allies once per turn with a max of 3, and it will prioritize allies with assist defense. This also includes if they have any unique defenses. The skill will gain coin power with the combination of Rupture on target and Poise on himself. And if the target has 3+ types of negative effects, he gains extra clash power. This skill gives Poise count to Honglu and inflicts Rupture. It's actually really nice if you have the Ring Yi Song, because the Ring is able to give out a bunch of debuffs, making this one even stronger. Yeah. So this Honglu's second attack has 4 coins. What it does is when the combat starts, it will apply gluttony damage up to every ally that has gluttony skills available, increasing their damage higher. Like the first skill, he'll gain extra coin power for every combination of 6 Rupture on target or Poise on self with a max of 2. Using the skill would automatically give him just 3 normal Poise, no count. The first hit does Rupture, the second hit gives him Poise count. The third and the fourth attack are both unbreakable coins. The third attack does Rupture, the fourth attack does 2 Rupture, but it also deals an extra % damage and even more damage on a critical hit. So yeah. So his skill 3 has 3 different parts, and this is going to get really confusing, so bear with me. So his skill 3-1, which is the one with a skill use, it will give him increased coin power for every 4 Rupture on target plus Poise on self with a max of 3. Using it automatically give him Poise and Poise count. And what it does is, when he attacks the person, if there is a Haisho member pack on the field, they will gain Unrelenting Storm, giving them a buff. And then he will give them Exalted Command, allowing them to use their skill 3, if unlocked, on an unopposed attack. If there is not If there is not a Haste pack, he will instead use skill 3-3, which will be explained here in a minute. But also, for his skill 3-1, it also inflicts the offense level down and defense level down, depending on certain effects on the target that he chose. His skill 3-2 will activate automatically once the Haste pack from the first one, if there was, did their attack. Then they will both do a combined attack, and this will give them extra base power, extra coin power. It will do more damage for every missing HP on target and missing HP on himself, giving also increased coin power for rupture on target plus place on count. He'll also deal extra damage for every negative effects on the target, deals extra damage for every high shield bolus contamination on himself. And then afterwards, this is how he gets his high shield bolus contamination. And he will get one depending on which Haste pack was used Exalted Command. This attack also inflicts rupture and slash resists down and does extra damage on a critical hit. And then the two Haste packs on the team, if applicable, they will heal the two lowest SP ones. They'll gain SP back, and he will apply attack power up to them on the next turn. And his skill 3-3 is activated if there was not a Haste pack member on the active field when used his 3-1 skill. And what it does is he deals extra damage for every life from death on himself. Essentially, if he's the only person left alive, he'll deal more damage. Like skill 3-2, he'll deal extra damage for every missing HP on the target and missing HP on himself. If he has 3+ life from death, he will gain extra attack weight with this ability. He will gain extra coin power for rupture and poise, deals more damage for negative effects, deals more damage for every Haste bolus contamination. This inflicts a decent small amount of rupture, and gives a slash resist down and increases his attack power up in the next turn. So this Honglu has 2 defense skills. And so as for his first one, at combat start, he will apply slash power up to the highest resin to a Haste pack identity allies. And then what else it does is if there are any backup units left, he will select a Haste member on the field with the lowest HP. He will give them Your Will Guides My Blade. They will then do a battlefield retreat where they retreat off the field. And then they will heal 10% of their HP when they come back. However, if the person who retreated, they will be placed earlier in the line than non-Haste identities, meaning that they could immediately come back if there wasn't any left in the backup blades. However, if there are no backup units, he will apply 2 attack power up to 1 Haiste pack member with the lowest HP. So this Honglu's second defense skill only gets activated if he's doing an assist defense. And what it will do is it'll have increased clash power, because this is a clashable guard for every 3 types of negative effects on the enemy, and essentially just a basic guard other than that. So this Honglu, like a good amount of other identities, has 2 passives, 2 combat passives, and then a support passive. His first combat passive, what it does is when any allies return to the field or if they substitute in, they will heal 10 SP. And then they will do a skill 1 against a random enemy. If the member that comes back is a Haiste pack or a Geo family unit, and essentially just the 1 Ishmael, they will instead heal 20 SP, and then they'll use a skill 3 as an unopposed attack. This can happen 2 times per identity per encounter. At the beginning of each encounter, he gains his leash holder of all Haste pack members, which gives him extra buffs for every Haste pack member he has equipped. This also includes backup units. When a Haste pack is killed in the encounter, he will heal 20 SP and then gain 1 life from death. He will also gain that buff even if he wasn't on the active field, and then he'll also do an extra 5% damage for every Haiste bolus contamination on him. His other combat passive, what it does is if he did not use a defense skill and is about to take an unopposed attack, he will apply the Lord's Guard to 3 random Haste pack members. Well, highest resin divided by 3 with the least assist defense stacks, max 2 allies once per identity. And this excludes identities that can gain defense themselves. In the encounter, the first time he were to die, he would not die, and then he would gain Tarnished Blood, which what that does is he'll take 28% of his max HP per stack, for every single turn in his stacks. But he also deals more damage for every stack he has. And then if he's using the Season 6 Battle Pass Eagle for him, Tears of the Tarnished Blood at the end, he won't die at the end of it. Instead, he will heal back to 60 HP, and then he'll gain 1 damage up at the start of every turn, once per encounter. And then his support passive, what it does is, the identity with the lowest current HP will deal extra damage again against the enemy they're targeting, depending on the amount of death threats on the target, times 3. So this identity, it's good. The big issue with it is that it relies on you having a lot of the other Hisham member packs, and depending on how much time you put into the game, how much money you could have, because that's a thing, or depending on if you're lucky or not, it may be hard for you to get them all, because then again, this is a gacha game. So this is a good identity, but it requires a lot of build up for it. So,